Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to my videos. Another paid request this time for Bronson. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for The Benchwarmers, a 2006 film directed by Dennis Dugan, who did Saving Silverman, who did Happy Gilmore. Sally did do Jack and Jill as well. And this stars Rob Schneider, David Spade, and Jon Heder. You also have Jon Lovitz. You have, I think, Craig Kilborn, which I remember him a little bit from back in the day. You have the baseball player Reggie Jackson. You have Dick Swardson, which I've never been a fan of. And this is one of those movies where I heard a story that apparently this is Adam Sandler's production that got this made. And one of the reasons it got made was because apparently Rob Schneider and David Spade were fighting with each other, and Adam Sandler, who's like the big producer, he wanted to have a film to get these two into it and settle their differences. I wish I could find more information. Because there's information they say, oh, it was in a Howard Stern interview, but I don't know which interview it was or what, but or where to find the full interview. This is one of those things where, as I'm watching it, it's not the worst movie I've seen, but at the same time, I didn't care for it either. Just believe it, I've seen a lot of worse comedies. Now, one thing I will give credit to is Rob Schneider. He plays much more of the serious leading man role. Very, very rare to see him that way. Because usually he's playing, whether it be 50 First Dates or even The Water Boy, you can do it, Bobby. Or whatever movie you could think of. Even back in the day of doing films like Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone, he was purposely the comedic relief, trying to be hyper. No, this is much more of this straightforward guy who is trying to help kids at baseball, trying to stop bullies from picking on other kids. I would say that was a bit refreshing. You don't have the annoying Rob Schneider in this. I appreciated that. I appreciate seeing a different look, a different side of Rob Schneider. And I actually would like to have seen more of that in movies. David Spade, who's got this really weird haircut, who works at a video store, and he's one of these three friends, along with Jon Heder from Napoleon Dynamite. And David Spade's kind of doing his normal shtick, although not nearly as funny as it was in Tommy Boy or Black Sheep. So he's doing his typical shtick, but at the same time, he's trying to act like a little kid as well at certain times, in particular playing baseball. So it's kind of this weird balance of, like, he's trying to be like he is in Tommy Boy and stuff, but at the same time, he's supposed to be like a grown up little kid. Not on purpose, like, he's meant to be an adult, but just have kid tendencies playing baseball. And Jon Heder, it feels like they just told him, try to be Napoleon Dynamite again. With your mannerisms and the, like, gosh. But you're also a bit more. I mean, he has a special helmet on. He's just throwing newspapers up that lands on the roof. And it's like, okay, take Napoleon Dynamite and dial up a few more notches, which I like Napoleon Dynamite. And that type of performance has to be handled the right way. Because when you handle the wrong way, you get a character that's a little bit more obnoxious. There's some people that feel Napoleon Dynamite's obnoxious. I can understand that. I don't, because I think the way the director handled Jon Heder in that, the timing and the way that guy directs, I thought worked well in that world. Not so much in this. Jon Lovitz is the father of a kid who was bullied, and he thanks the three guys for helping his kid, and he's a rich guy. He's so super rich. He's got Kit, the car from Knight Rider. I think uh, I think the guy who voiced him on Knight Rider, William, I forgot his name. I think they got him to voice the car in this as well. And Jon Lovitz is dressed like David Hasselhoff. Uh, when the three enter Jon Lovitz's home, there's a Darth Vader thing that has them come in. Also, Jon Lovitz has a robot butler. So, this is a film that's not meant to be taken seriously. Again, Jon Lovitz has a fucking robot butler from Richie Rich. And the story of the film is these three guys. Rob Schneider has this beautiful lady, and she wants to have a kid, but he's unsure about it. He gets his two buddies, David Spade and Jon Heder, to play baseball. Some other kids who are bullies who picked on this one kid before. They want the field, and Rob Schneider goes, "How about the three of us play you?" Now, the way they win is because Rob can hit home runs like nothing, and he can strike out every kid. So he strikes out every kid, he hits home runs, so the three of them are able to win from him alone. The other two couldn't do anything. And Jon Lovitz sees this and says we should build a league for kids who get bullied, and they have a chance to play. And before that, the three of them win a couple more games. And it's one of those things that I kind of get what the point of it is. You know, the kids are bullied, they get their chances to shine. But they really don't, because until the final game where they completely lose, the actual kids play, you don't really, there's not really any shine on the little kids and on the ones who are bullied. Like, most of the movie is about the three leads. So the message is about these kids who get bullied, but most of it's about these three and them getting better and them learning how to play. So it's one of those things, like, imagine White Men Can't Jump. It's about Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. But in the final game, Rosie Perez goes in to play the basketball game. And you're like, okay, well, that's not really what the whole movie was about, but alright. Same with Major League or any other sports movie. It's about these guys and them playing, and them getting better, and Reggie Jackson teaches them. So it teaches, hot potato, so Jon Heder could catch better. Hit mailboxes so David Spade could swing better. Or there's a bit where Tim Meadows from SNL, he starred in that movie The Ladies' Man. He's kind of pushed by Craig Kilborn to hire this guy named Julio, I believe. He's a much older guy, but because of just the very loose rules in here, he's able to play as well. And he's beating the team, but then they get him more and more drunk, and he's playing more and more piss poor, so the team is still able to win, of Rob and David and Jon. So again, that's the real thing. That's the weird thing. That's just the real thing. The real shitty thing. It wants to be the story about these oppressed kids and them getting their time to shine. They're getting their time to be off the bench. But they don't play until the final bit. And then they're just losing so piss poorly by this is just the idea of, hey, we still like to play. And the other team's like, wow, they're losing like 49-0 and they still like to play. I don't care who the fuck you are. If you're losing 49-0, you're not going to want to fucking play. Even if you're a kid who's got a bunch of Zoloft in your system. If it's 0-49, you don't want to fucking play anymore. I don't give a fuck how chipper you are. So it's weird. It's like mostly about them playing. So you think the story's about them and their journey, but then they don't really have a journey other than Rob Schneider, because you find out that Rob Schneider is an Eskimo. No, you find out that Rob, the reason he's adamant about this, he used to be a bully back in the day, and he made this little guy go mental, but then he's shunned. He goes to the guy, he apologizes. The guy comes back and goes, hey, look what he's done. Look how he's helped people here. Let's forgive him. Forgive and forget. And then the movie goes on from there. Until you have the final game where the three leads don't play, the other kids do. And it feels like these other kids are going to be incorporated more. Like they set up this kid who spits a lot. Like he's spitting a lot. And so Rob Schneider, he talks and he spits back at the kid. But then you like never really see much of that kid ever again. So it's one of those things where, well, what is the actual trajectory of this movie? Like David Spade and Jon Heder, they don't grow as characters. They did a little bit better at the game, but that's pretty much it. It's not like, oh, Jon Heder, he grows to be less obnoxious or this and that. David Spade, somehow, okay, he likes a girl at Pizza Hut, and somehow, for some reason, the girl likes her, but you never know why she likes him. Did I say she likes her? I just, because I think of David Spade's haircut. Fucking Prince Valiant haircut. Why does she like him? There's no explanation for it. There's no reason for it. Oh, it's a silly, goofy movie. But even some of those have to have some kind of parameter, some kind of rule. And like I said, it's a very short film. That's one positive. You know, Rob Schneider is not obnoxious at all. Like I said, it was refreshing to see him play it differently. I mean, I like David Spade, so it's always nice to see him. I mean, I even liked, what was it? Yeah, I don't mind the first Joe Dirt. Deuce, no, not Deuce Bigelow is Rob. What was the name? Dickie Roberts, former child star. I remember having fun with that movie. Lost and Found with David Spade was okay. Time waster. Even the one he did with Adam Sandler, The Do-Over, I actually didn't mind that one for newer Adam Sandler films. And one of the reasons because, you know, David Spade, I do like the guy. And he seems like a very nice guy. He's helped a lot of people. He seems like a nice guy in real life. So that helps. It's not really one of his shining moments. I don't think he's really given a lot to do for comedy to really play off. And there's not really much chemistry with the characters. I mean, even like between him and Adam Sandler, The Do-Over, there's some decent chemistry. Of course, him and Chris Farley, there was perfect chemistry. Doesn't really have a lot of chemistry here with these other guys. But yeah, I mean, he has chemistry with the group in the first Grown Ups. Second film, it was just awful. And a lot of the humor is just really Jon Heder picks his nose and he eats his butter. A lot of people getting hit with the ball. A lot of that is the humor. A ball hits him on the head or hits him here, hits him there. Nick Swardson's in the film because he's David Spade's brother who doesn't like going out in the sun. So if he sees the sun, he screams, ah! And he likes to eat a lot of suntan lotion. Because apparently if you're afraid of the sun, you just decide to eat a bunch of suntan lotion. If there's a guy I think more annoying than Rob Schneider is Nick Swardson. There's a reason he only started one film. Was it Bucky Larson? And got like a 0% Rotten Tomatoes. Was a huge bomb, and no one ever asked him to star in another movie, for a good reason. And this product placement, I mean, Pizza Hut. I will admit, it worked because I kind of want Pizza Hut. I think the next time I go somewhere, I am going to get some Pizza Hut stuffed crust. So it did. Motherfuckers did his magic. You owe me money, Benchwarmers. The money I'm going to pay. You owe me fucking money for that. So, I mean, I can understand that people enjoy his silly. It's not the worst comedy ever. At least it's short enough. Jon Lovitz, it's kind of funny his character being so rich and just being so kind of filled with gusto that he has all these things to play with, but I don't know. If you're a big baseball fan, it's nice to have Reggie Jackson in there. Probably the one bit the line I laughed the most was the guy Julio with Tim Meadows, and Trey Kilborn. Oh, here's this guy for your team, and Tim Meadows is like, "How old are you?" "Well, I'm 12." "More like 1200." The way Tim Meadows said that, I thought was pretty funny. And then Julio's kid comes out, "Papi," and the guy immediately turns, "Silencio, mijo." Just the timing of that, with how quickly the kid came out, "Silencio, mijo," and the kid leaves, and Tim Meadows looks, and he looks back. That whole scene I thought was pretty funny. I would say that's my favorite bit in the movie. But yeah, the rest of it, the plot doesn't really know what it wants to be. It's not really that consistently funny. Jon Heder, he's a bit more obnoxious. David Spade, it's like he doesn't really know what to do. Like I say, he wants to be his like black sheep, Tommy Boy persona, but at the same time, he's got this goofy haircut, and neither him or Jon Heder really have anything character-wise to even attempt to work with. It's mostly about them, but in the final bit, it's them out of the game and these kids play. But these kids you don't know because we never really built up these kids and who the fuck they are. So it's like, why the fuck should I care that they're playing? Let alone having a shutout. I get the message, but it's kind of a, I don't know, really piss poor script to showcase that message. So I mean, I wasn't really a fan of the movie. So, and then again, just a lot of like, not a lot, but once in a while some raunchy, stupid humor, farting in kids' faces, things of that nature. They really like when people get hit with a ball because they do that 100 times over in this movie. Makes you think of the Simpsons, man getting hit with football, and Homer Simpson. Maybe Homer Simpson would love this movie. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.